Joining me right now is Shinju Auclair. She will be fighting at RIZIN on New Year's Eve. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. I want to go back to your debut fight for RIZIN,
Hmm.
in
Sure.
the summer. When you got to Saitama Super Arena, it's a historic building. How did it feel to be in such a historic place?
The first time I entered gave me chills. I was actually able to go out there in April to watch the RIZIN April event. And I don't know, I got nervous even though I wasn't even fighting on that card. But by the time July came around, I was a little bit more calmed down. I'm pretty good at focusing on what's going on in front of me. And at that time the stadium didn't bother me too much, but when I first went in there in April, man, it was an insane feeling.
When you're in the back getting ready, there's a lot of, big names in Japanese
Hmm.
MMA getting ready for
Yeah,
their fights. What was that feeling like?
I felt like I didn't belong there. It was just so surreal. I looked around and I see Tenshin is just unbelievable. I can't believe the things that he does in that ring. And then to see Miyu Yamamoto in there, one of my heroes, it was just, I felt so lucky. Yeah, I couldn't really describe it, but like I said, I did my best to try to focus on what was in front of me. And oh, Dan Henderson was in there too. I saw him the day before, so that was weird to be at an event that he was at. I never thought that that would ever happen.
Yeah. Well, you went in there and you just violently took over the fight from the beginning. It was very surprising. A lot of people expected it to kind of, you guys get your feeling, feel each other out, but you just went in there and just blasted through and got that arm bar real fast. You started at boxing and you have a little bit of background in karate. So, like, did you expect to get the submission?
I wasn't looking for a submission. I didn't train to do that, but I don't really have a game plan going to fights. I tried to clinch up with her, and she turned around and gave me her back, and I decided to take it to the ground there. But that was never really the plan. I do know actually that her plan was to take it to the ground, so it was cool to be able to kind of get her where she wanted it to go and still be able to come out with the victory. But other than that, yeah, I was looking to strike, and I wasn't thinking or expecting it to go there.
After it was all over and, said and done, you were very emotional.
Hmm.
Like, why were you so emotional?
It was just a lot of pressure leading up to the fight, and I was holding a lot of different feelings in. From fighting at Saitama Super Arena to my mom being there in the front row, and yeah, just the pressure overall. And I finally felt for the first time that entire fight camp that I could just let it all go, and it's done and over with. And it was a good feeling to be able to go out there and yeah, perform.
Now, when you get to Japan, the reception that you have been getting is tremendous, right? And there's a lot of media duties on top of that. How did you handle all of that stuff?
It was hard. It was easier at that time because I wasn't part of a fight camp. I was just training just with my coach one on one. So I wasn't doing that this time around. I am not committing to as many media obligations. It was okay for the first time around, but right now I'm really more focused on the training than anything.
What are you working on in this camp?
I'm going into a huge Muay Thai camp for this fight. Um, like you said earlier, I have like that karate and boxing background, but I'm at El Nino now, and they're amazing, amazing Muay Thai practitioners out there. So I'm working on really adapting to the style and working on taking a little bit of snap out of the kicks and being able to get a little bit more power in each shot. I think is the biggest thing right now.
Who are you working with at El Nino right now?
The head coach out there, Johnson, on Muay Thai legend. It's so cool that I get to work with him on a daily basis. I've been working with Leslie Smith. She's been awesome, huge part. And then just you could pick up anybody at El Nino, and they are just amazing. I have this girl that I get to work with, Audrey, um, undefeated Muay Thai fighter. This girl, Michelle. Anybody, you could pick anybody from that gym. It's awesome.
So every time you go to train, it's just like you're picking up stuff left and right.
Yeah, it's hard not to with the environment, whether, even if it's not directly from coach,
Mm.
just being around other people is very inspiring. Um, you're literally getting to watch, like, Gilbert Melendez is rolling next to you, and then, you got Jake Shields coming in, and it's so inspiring. And these guys are, it's I've seen successful fighters and who kind of shy away from like the hard work,
Mm.
but here it's completely different. You see these guys grinding out. It's not like this glamorous life. Like, you get to see like all that blood, sweat, and tears going into it. It's cool.
Yeah, you got a lot of guys and girls out there that have fought in Japan before. So do they give you any tips about, when you go out there and you're fighting in a ring instead of a cage, which is also different?
It's definitely helpful that they're mostly Muay Thai practitioners are at the gym, so they have a lot of experience in ring work and cutting off, and how to work footwork and angles in the ring. So that's really cool. I'm getting a lot of advice on how to control ring space.
All right. Now let's get to your fight against Chelsea LaGrasse. She's making her pro debut, kind of like how you made your pro debut, going all the way to Japan. So you experienced it already. So do you see that as an advantage over her?
No, not necessarily. Um, I think I was able to get in there without that getting into my head too much. It depends on what kind of a person she is. I think maybe if that, the big crowd or something would get to her or get inside her head, and that way it could be an advantage. But hopefully it doesn't, because I want her to be at her very best when we meet in the ring.
Yeah, I recently saw an interview with her, and she said that she's planning to take you out in the first round, which is very, very confident of her, since she basically lost to you, in my opinion, in your first fight, right?
Yeah. I mean, man, you can't blame her. You gotta have that mentality going into a fight. You can't be like, going in there like, yeah, I want to go in there and get the decision win. So, I mean, that's cool of her. That's fine.
You guys face each other in your amateur career. How important is it to have an amateur career? Because there's a lot of fighters nowadays that don't even have an amateur career and they just go straight
Mhm.
into the pros. So what about you?
I wasn't expecting to have such a short amateur career. I didn't think the opportunities that was given were going to present themselves so quickly. I was planning on maybe doing 6 or 7 fights as an amateur to just kind of get the feelers out there. I think there's pros and cons to everything. We lose money every camp. I was just talking to one of the guys at the gym about this today, but yeah, I mean, even as a pro, yeah, I'm gonna get paid for this fight, but I'm still gonna lose money going into this camp and stuff. So, we do put in a lot, and it is nice to get rewarded for that. But also getting the experience is really nice too. So it's kind of a toss up.
How are you making up for the money that you lose for this camp?
I'm trying to get sponsorship type of stuff right now. But training is expensive, living day to day is expensive, especially out in San Francisco. It's crazy.
Right now in RIZIN, they have this huge women's tournament that's going on, which you are fighting on at the same time, the same card. Who do you think is the front runner to win that tournament?
You can definitely see it's kind of I believe Reina is the one that is pushed really hard to be the winner there. I really love Kanna Sakura. I think she's a phenomenal wrestler. Um, it'll be cool to see that fight. I'm hoping those two girls get to duke it out in the end.
Yeah, it's a very interesting clash of styles between
Hmm.
those two.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
totally
it.
grappler.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it so much. Now, it seems like RIZIN's doing a lot of tournaments. So
Hmm.
next year, nothing's like set in stone for RIZIN. Have you heard anything about maybe a women's tournament at like flyweight?
I haven't, but you know, flyweights are coming up right now. They're the new big thing. You know, Bellator just had their first flyweight title fight, and UFC's opened up the flyweight. So who knows? Maybe it'll be time.
Yeah, I think you would be perfect for a slot in that tournament, right?
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you said I heard that you have a 2-year 4-fight contract with RIZIN.
Mhm.
Am I correct?
Yes.
So after this fight, this is your second fight. Who would you like to fight for the next year? Is there anybody in your mind?
You know, I try not to think about that too much because I feel like if I pick somebody in my head that I want to fight, I'm just going to train to be able to beat that person, and I'll stop focusing on myself. I mostly just focus on what I can do for myself, and then RIZIN, comes to me with opponents, and then I go from there. I've never been good at thinking of who I want to fight or anything like that.
All right, one last question before I let you go. This time, head kicks are allowed. Do you
Yeah.
see the head kick coming?
I hope so. I mean, you know, I'm trying not to take it personal or anything like that, but I'm a little bit salty that it happened. They're coming.
They're coming, right? All right. Thank you for your time, and good luck on New Year's Eve. It's the biggest card in Japanese MMA, one of the
Yeah.
biggest cards in Asian MMA, so good luck to you.
Thank you, boss.